Okay. Rejection, part 2. 2 of 1 million. I have a lot of thoughts because I just watched the video over just to get where we left off. So I'll start with the story. The Bumble guy. So once upon a time, I was on Bumble. I think it was that one, or maybe it was Hinge. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter. Those are the only 2 I've ever been on. And what happened? Okay, so we met up at Druthers. He was a Navy guy, which I found attractive. Super young, and everyone has been super young, or just at least younger, significantly younger than me, since I have been a widow. I don't know. I feel like it's like probably trying to start over. You know, like I can't get younger, but they can. It's not conscious. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, so met at Druthers, and he was like flirty, but not like overly too pushy or anything like that. I was like, okay, yeah, it's good. But then he like kept. This was like when we were talking before, and then when we were actually in person, he kept like sliding in comments like he like 50 Shades of Grey has nothing on him or something, you know, just like insinuating that his sexual dominance was very healthy. And I'm like, okay, sure, go ahead, try. Nobody will try. Anyway, so I'm like, all right, you know, he's like good. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I'm telling this story. It's just the period of my life I was in, and you know, you got needs, right? And I was feeling myself, and I was tired of just feeling myself. I wanted somebody else to feel me. So he was acceptable, you know, good looking enough, body was all right, personality was all right enough to just go home and do the thing and then go the fuck away. So we're talking about it, and he says, you know, if I come over to your house, I'm not going to stay. And I was like, why? And he said, because I just don't like you. And I was like, but why not? Why can't you just fucking go to sleep, leave in the morning? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I was like, okay, so whatever. We're leaving, and I'm standing outside Druthers, and I was like, well, thinking to myself, I don't want to get back to my house and find out, like, you're a fucking terrible kisser. If we don't have any sort of chemistry, you're wasting your trip. So, hold on, I have something in my eye. It's probably a fucking dog hair. So many dogs. So we're making out on the sidewalk, and I guess it was good. I remember that thinking that was a relief. And all right, then I walk into the parking garage, and then he just starts going off about how this is a bad idea, and some girl back home when, oh my God, he's like, you never even asked me why I don't have a girlfriend. Well, it's because when he was like, I don't know, like 15 or 16, my first girlfriend, he might have said her name, I don't know. I got her this fill in the blank. It was like the name of a kind of bracelet. I got her this kind of bracelet, like it was a big deal, I guess, and for Christmas, and she gangbanged 3 dudes that day. That's what happened. So he got super rejected. It's not just like, oh, like I fucked up and I cheated on you. Like I willingly took 3 dicks. Like, that's how much she rejected him and his fucking bracelet, I guess. And he was really carrying that around. So it had been like, I think he said he was like 16, and he was probably like 28 or something at the time. This was a couple years ago, so, you know, I was younger too. And he's like going off, and I'm just standing in the parking lot just staring at him, like witnessing this reaction from this human. And I started to cry, just like, you know, single tear sort of thing, because I felt so bad for him, how much he had not processed. Like, he at least knew. Here's the thing though, let's talk about that. I need to get closer. Recognizing that there's an issue and where it comes from is step 1. And typically when you hear the phrase step one, you'd assume there's going to be more steps. And what happens to a lot of people, I'd even be willing to say most of us, we get step one like, oh, this is the thing that happened. So we identify the story. This is the thing that, oh, no, don't you dare try to take me off course. This is the thing that happened, and this is why I'm fucked up. And some people just stop there. Instead of step two, this is the thing that happened, this is why I'm fucked up, this is how I want to heal myself. Because the first thing is just it's not accepting any responsibility for who you are today. You know? Like, I'm willing to bet I'd say every single person has had something happen in their life that they would not choose. And are we all carrying around that baggage? Some people do. They like really do. This one is going to sound weird, I feel like. I feel like it's a weird thing to say out loud. And I don't mean it to be disrespectful at all. It wasn't my experience, okay? So I was like in this mommy group when I got pregnant with Olivia. It was like some website, I can't remember what it's called, Baby Center maybe? And they had this message boards for people who are all due in the same month of the same year. So she was due October of 2008. So all these babies, or all these moms in this group were due with babies at the same time. So it's kind of cool because you're like going through pregnancy together. And it was my first time, and I was high. I don't know if you've listened to any of my talks, but I have a lot of fucking anxiety. And I was terrified of the whole thing. The whole thing, just like, there's a human in my body, and it's getting bigger. And I want it to get bigger, but it's going to get even bigger, and then it has to come out of my body. It's going to leave my body somehow. And I was not looking forward to that. I was really afraid of it. I was not so afraid of like the afterward part. I was just so focused on the birth. Anyway, can we rewind? Mommy group, got it. There was this one mom who she was pregnant with her like fifth kid maybe? I think fifth child. She had 4 living children, or maybe she had 3 living children, and she had 1 miscarriage. I'm not talking stillborn, miscarriage. And there's a big, God, I don't know. This is my own porch. I'm not gonna get fucking canceled. This is real. See, I'm just being honest in the things that I normally would not say. Everybody thinks that I say everything that I think. It's not fucking true. There's a lot of things I don't say. I try to be polite. I try to be correct. I try to be gracious. And this is not wrong. This is science. There is a difference between when you have a miscarriage, which is, up to a certain number of weeks of pregnancy, and when you have a stillborn. When you have a stillborn baby, that's when the baby was alive and forming, and it's become a baby, and then it stopped living, and then the mother has to give birth to a not living baby. I would imagine that is a very traumatic experience. Having a miscarriage, if we're putting it on a scale, is much less traumatic. I had one, but there's all different ways you can have a miscarriage. For me, it was, I was pregnant, and the cells formed into something for a certain number of weeks, and then they stopped being alive. And it looked like, just like a little bean, and my body did not terminate the pregnancy, so I had to have a procedure to have it taken out. And it wasn't traumatic, it was just sad, and I know that it's very common. How the fuck did I get to miscarriage from rejection? Somebody help me. Okay. So this one mom, she talked about the miscarriage that she had had, forever. That was the issue. And this is why I'm fucked up. Okay, got it. So he had not moved past, and we're going way back to Bumble Hinge guy. He had not taken steps to move forward from the thing that happened in his life that caused his first rejection, his first traumatic rejection. And many of us don't. I already went through that. So yeah, that was my story about that guy. But going back to rejection, what I feel like I didn't get to express is I said a lot of times like how I reject myself, but it was really, I feel like I focused more on like appearance and stuff. That's just to make it the most relatable, because I think most of us do that, at least at some point. It's just the same as judging, right? We just like reject something. Like just now I rejected that my hair was sticking out, and then I fixed it. It happened automatically without even thinking. It's that present or frequent, we'll say. So I mean all of that, but in the deeper sense, the thing that like really has impacted me is how I reject myself for others, meaning if something good or positive is coming my way, I touched on this before, if a person, like a real person is in my life, I am very afraid. I'm afraid. Because if I assume that there will be a traumatic loss of that person, because it has happened, you know, a couple times that were pretty important to me. Yeah, it's like I said before, it's the having of people as whatever they are to you and then losing them. Or when then I recognize that this person or this thing is very good and I start to put energy into it, it scares me. And I think that rejection at some point is going to happen, or it's going to end. I then make the other person the enemy. So that when this inevitable trauma happens to me, right, because I feel like the victim, I will already have a mountain of evidence as to why you're terrible. I didn't even fucking like you anyway, and I knew from the beginning. Because I'm looking for that. And it's really just like building this wall of evidence about how you're gonna fuck me as a barrier between you and I. And the more that I care for someone, the more I spend artistically creating this wall. I'm just like throwing shit all over the place. It's just very intricate. And here's the thing. Now I'm like stuck. I'm trying to move from step one. This is what happened and this is why I'm fucked up. These are the things that I do. I need to move to, and this is what I'm doing to heal myself and move forward. And it's so fascinating to me how this really relates to CrossFit. So, for example, sometimes you do a CrossFit workout and it's like, God, this is so hard. And you're like, surprised? Or this is so heavy. Like you just got all of those weights from the weight tree thing and you put them on this barbell and you know how many pounds it is. And then you went to pick it up and it feels heavy. But it's like some days the same weight feels a little bit lighter. The thing to remember is it's supposed to be hard. That's what work is. Work is fucking hard. So acknowledging this is what happened, this is why I'm fucked up, and getting to this is how I'm going to heal myself, the healing is the work. And if it was easy, then everyone would do it, and I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you about this. Like, I don't make porch talks about how to grow your fingernails. It just automatically fucking happens. We don't have to talk about it. I pulled that one straight out of the air. Yeah, and I recognize that I have done that. oh, hey, here you are. You are all the good things. That is scary. So let me just get some space there. And then I realize what I'm doing. And sometimes it's too late. Sometimes it's not. So, this is what I'm doing to heal myself. I recognize that this time I'm going to say recovery, but I don't mean the recovery that you think I mean. I mean recovery from 2015, the trauma, Dan dying, and then my hospital stay, we'll call it. That was the most traumatic thing I have ever experienced. So my recovery from that, because it's like you recover from trauma, not just alcohol or drugs. I am also in alcohol recovery, which we'll get to. Normally at this point in my trauma recovery, I would have the opportunity to go to a program, a Baptiste program. It's the specific kind of yoga that I teach, and really I credit it to why I'm like anything good. You think anything that you like about me or who I am or what I say, it's because of Baptiste yoga. Like it literally fucking saved me. I went to a Baptiste program 11 weeks after the trauma occurred. I was like fresh out of the hospital. I want to say I was out of the hospital for like 3 weeks. Talk about fucking culture shock. I knew what I was getting into, but I was not present in my body or in my mind. Everything was so hard. And it was not an immediate thing. I didn't come out of that week-long program like, oh, it's cool. I'm going to be okay. I did not think that at all. But I just kept taking the next right step, making the higher call, doing the thing that I, at the time, was supposed to do. Oh, this is good. Oh my goodness. Yep. Huh. Okay. Yeah, this is so interesting. You're seeing like a live discovery. Ever since I woke up in the hospital and there was like a lot. People were mad at me, like really mad. In my eyes, I had to make the story that suicide is not an option. You're not supposed to. You just can't. You're not allowed to. It's like it's illegal. I know it actually is illegal, which I don't understand that. How are you gonna prosecute somebody? It's off limits to me. And that is very different than I don't think about it. I do think about it. I think everybody thinks about it. Whether it's like in passing, there's a commercial, or someone just said like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself because it's so rainy. You know, stupid shit like that. So yes, it is not, I'm not allowed to do it. So I'm following some sort of rule. And then I impart that rule everywhere else. Like I think that I don't like to be bossed around, and I feel like everyone's trying to tell me what to do. So I reject them. And I build up walls because you never let me do what I want to do, Mom. And it's not even my mom. Oh boy. Yeah. I found though that just like everything else, when you stop rejecting yourself, other people stop rejecting you too. I think. I'm trying, you know? Put your energy on what you want to have happen. Put your energy on what you want to have happen. I'm going to do that. I'm doing that. I'm not going to do it. I'm declaring that I am doing that. Putting my energy on what I want to have happen. You can do it too. What do you want? What do you want? Keep focusing there. Good night.